Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So Rabbi Edelman is on a well-deserved vacation. And so you have Wayne and me and Evan tonight. So we're glad you're here. You might have to run around the sanctuary to find a prayer book, but everybody should have a blue prayer book. And we're having a lot of our prayer books replaced, but when we had a major flood at Yom Kippur, a lot of our prayer books and Torahs were destroyed, so we're in the process of replacing them. Tonight it shouldn't be an issue. There should be enough for our crowd, but I'm sorry there's not like more in each row. But that's all happening. So later on in the service, it's Parshat, the portion where we talk about Joseph, but and I'm going to be reading a poem a little bit later on, but start thinking about Joseph and one of the first stories of Joseph, which is where his father got him a beautiful coat. So keep that in your head for later on. But we're going to begin on page 120 in our prayer book. And we invite Colonel Jim Levitt and Sheila to come up and help us kindle the Shabbat lights.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Page 122. There you go. Right there.
The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. on the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava u'vratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehillah l'mikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, v'tanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava uvratzon, inchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh Shabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Delicious, not for you, too much sugar.
Thank you, both of you.
A pleasure.
Our congregation is grateful.
Good.
Oh, see? Opens doors, lets you go first. That's awesome, Jim. We're going to continue on page 264. And once you get there, please rise.
Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. We remain standing, and we turn to page 266. Wayne, if you could help me lead this.
In each age, we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment, we are addressed by the Lord.
Everyone, in each age we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment we stand face to face with truth.
In each age, we add our wisdom to that which has gone before.
In each age the children, keep going. There's something wrong, but you keep going.
Okay. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
You keep going. Okay. Now there's a microphone here. All right. We continue with our Shema on page 267. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu
Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malachuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. We are on page 268.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'shokbecha u'v'kumecha shartam leyot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'b'hisharecha leman tizkiru v'asitem et kol mitzotai Vitem kedoshim lelohechem, ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etem meretz Mitzrayim, liod lachem leElohim, ani Adonai Elohechem.
We continue on page 270. This is a version of Mi Chamocha I just learned this week, and Evan helped me learn it as well. So it's a melody that I doubt you've ever heard before, but it was written by a cantor who has a wonderful last name. His last name is Singer, Cantor Singer. So, and it reminds me a little bit of a Carole King song, but anyway, I hope you like hearing a different arrangement. Sometimes it's good to do things a little differently and to hear things in a different way.
Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh noratehilot osefene noratehilot osefene osefene.
That was fun, right? That's right. I'm going to try that for a few weeks, see if I get any big complaints. But I thought it's good for me to learn new things as well. It's good for me. It's a good challenge for me. Mi Chamocha is the prayer that we sang, all of us, after we escaped Egypt and got across to the Red Sea on the other side. It says it in the Torah. This is the song we sang. And one other thing is that we call it the Red Sea, but actually it was called the Reed Sea. Does anyone know why we call it the Red Sea? So when the Hebrew Bible was first translated by Christians into English, somebody left off an E. And they just continued the mistranslation. But it is technically the Reed Sea. So it's not the Red Sea because, one of the plagues where the water turned to blood. It's not that at all. So that is why it, in case you didn't know, the Red Sea. So we're going to continue. And we're going to be on page 272. Please read with me together in the English in the middle. The people of Israel who keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. And now we sing that prayer. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. V'ini uveim b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam le'olam, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, u'bayom hashevi shavat v'yinafash. Our next prayer starts on 273, and it goes all the way through 276. It's the Amidah, the standing prayer. And if you ever are bored during services, which I'm sure you never are, you can read some of the commentary underneath. So one of the first lines says, for those who choose before reciting the tefillah, one takes 3 steps forward. So if you want, you can do that. So traditionally what happens is you stand up, you take a few steps back, you take a few steps forward, then you bow, and you go like this. Does anyone know why we do all that choreography? Okay, so that was because that is how in ancient days one approached the king. So, I know if you go to England and you're going to meet with the queen, don't you have to practice like all this stuff? So this is from ancient times because God is considered the king. And actually in Judaism, we shied away for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years to ever have a king because it was against Jewish thought. The king is supposed to be God. But then at some point in our history, we wanted a king, and we had a whole series of kings, starting with King Saul, and eventually, King David and King Solomon, and then we stopped having kings. But that is why when we do the Amidah, we go back and forth and bow, if we want, to represent our choreography as God is the king. So if you want, you can do that. Of course, you're going to hit the chair in front of you, but please rise. Adonai sefatitach ufi hagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotinu v'imotenu. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Ha'gibor v'Hanara,
עליון, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוהר חסדי אבות ואימהות, נביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר מושיע מגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור נעם אדוני, מחיה כל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים לחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים דרופי חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהלוך הסלע, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We continue on page 278, and we read together in the middle of the page. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. And we continue on the top of page 281 in the English. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, together we give thanks. For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise. For the desire in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful. For life in nature, harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow, all praise to the source of being. Now jump to the bottom to O God. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, u'lecha na'eh lehodot. We continue on 282 with our prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. 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 Ki atah melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atah melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha tasim le'olam, tasim le'olam, tasim le'olam.
Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people with peace. So this poem I was alluding to before was recently written by a mom in Israel. And a lot of people in the United States and all over the entire world have been sending things to Israel. And then this week's Torah portion being about Joseph and his coat was an interesting connection. And the name of her poem is called A Coat of Many Colors. My son returned from battle with his duffel bursting, with things I had not packed for him. Socks donated by the Jews in Argentina, a quilted blanket smelling like someone else's home, a blue towel from a family from a moshav, tzitzit from Jerusalem, a fleece jacket gifted by a high-tech company, a scarf knitted by an elderly lady, undershirts purchased by online shoppers, and a sheet that was given to him by a friend, gloves brought by teenage girls, a jacket from the closet of somebody who came and requested to give. I spread out all of these garments, and I weave together a new coat of many colors. See, Yosef, my son, your brothers were there for you. We pray silently. This song is not in your prayer book. This is a time of year when some people are really happy and some people are very lonely. And this is a time of year when we remember our loved ones, many of whom, if you've lived long enough, are not on this earth anymore. And all of us will be in this position or already are. The world is also rocked by the war in the Middle East. For such a small country, Israel has a very big impact. And we are all reeling from all the things that have happened since October 7th. And this prayer, Nachamu, is asking God to comfort us.
Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yamar Elohechem. 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 Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yamar Elohechem. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yamar Elohechem. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem.
We're now going to continue with our Torah service. And in your prayer book, if you could please turn to we actually start on page 364 with the singing of Susha Arim, and I ask you all to please rise.
Susha Arim Roshechem V'chinasu Pithkei Olam V'yavo Melech HaKavod.
We're using that one.
Who's a Melech HaKavod Adonai Tzavot U'Melech HaKavod Selah U'Melech HaKavod Selah Selah Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo Lecha Adonai Hagedura V'Hagevora Hatiferet V'Hanetzach V'Havot Ki Chol Bashamayim U'Va'aretz Ki Chol Bashamayim U'Va'aretz Lecha Adonai Amanacha Aminasi Lechol Rosh Al Shlosha Devarim Al Shlosha Devarim Al Shlosha Devarim Ha'olam Ha'olam Amen Al Shlosha Devarim Al Shlosha Devarim Al Shlosha Devarim Ha'olam Ha'olam Amen Al HaTorah Ve'al HaAvodah Ve'al Gemilut Chasadim Al HaTorah Ve'al HaAvodah Ve'al Gemilut Chasadim Ve'ha'ernenu b'Toratecha V'dabek lebeinu b'mitzvotecha Ve'yachil levahavenu le'ahava u'yir'ah et shemecha.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you to come up sooner. We invite Dr. Bob Hayat and Mary Beth to join us on the bima. And we're going to be reading, if you have to search for it, in the red Torah commentary on page 281. There's an old cough drop under here. Would you like that? So we're in the book of Genesis, book 44, and as I told you, we're into the Joseph story. And so Mary Beth and Bob, I'd like to, I'm putting you under the mic. Sorry. Here we go. It can stay off. They're going to lead us in the Torah blessings.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Ambarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayigash elav Yehuda, vayomer bi'adoni, ידבר נא עבדך הדבר באוזני אדוני, ויחר עבדך בעבדך, כי כמוך כפרעה, אדוני שאל את עבדיו לאמור, היש לכם אב או אח? ונאמר אל אדוני, יש לנו אב זקן, וילד זקונים קטן, ואחיו מת, ויוותר הוא לבדו, לאמו ואביו ואבו, ותאמר אל עבדיו, הורידוהו אלי, ושימה עיני עליו, ונאמר אל אדוני, לא יוכל הנער לעזוב את אחיו, ועזב את אביו, ומת.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam notah b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. So, in case you've ever gotten a really nice phone call or card or baked goods from the caring committee, it's probably Mary Beth who was in touch with you, and she's amazing. And Bob Hayat, of course, you can tell he's in the choir, and you are beloved members of our congregation. And Mary Beth's also, we are very fortunate, a teacher in our religious school. So please rise.
וזאת התורה אשר שמשה לפני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. לי 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 לי
So if you picked up a little green paper, you guys can sit down. Thank you. You're amazing. Come back and do this often. You'll find our prayer of healing. And I'm going to move, Wayne, I'm going to have you come forward. And I'm going to move next to Evan because we're singing this together. So before we begin talking, I'll put my microphone back up. Before we sing our prayer of healing, first I'd like to list numerous members of our congregation whom we're praying for. We are praying for Rabbi Robert Orak, Martha Brandwein, Nancy Keller Coffey, Robert Summers, Jessica Knight, Niles Chopper, Judith Landau, Pam Friedman, Eric Blumenfeld, Larry Boxman, Jean O'Connor, Myra Taxa, Bernard Shagan, Linda Kaplan, Baby Mark, Michael Gindy, Marion Cardenas, Michael Lynch, Marty Kanarick, Myrna Hoffman, Natalie Lipman, Antoinette Palmiero, Lisa Calderwood, Rivka Batnatan Visara. If there are any other names that you would like to add, please add them as my eye meets yours. I'll start over on this side with Wayne.
Okay, Barry Gilchrist, Gary Arndt, Suzanne Arndt.
Coming up here, are there any names you'd like to say? Wayne Edwards. Wayne Edwards. David Hendrickson. Any others? We are praying all who are suffering from war. And now our prayer of healing.
Dear God of our ancestors,
Dear God of our ancestors,
help us renew our faith.
help us renew our faith.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Bring peace to all our days.
Bring peace to all our days.
And strength of body.
Restore our strength of body.
Help clarify our minds.
And clarify our minds.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Rejuvenate our light.
Rejuvenate our
And
light.
Thank you for all these blessings
Thank you for all these blessings.
throughout our days and nights.
Throughout our days and nights,
We celebrate the journey,
we celebrate the journey,
this precious gift of life.
this precious gift of life.
Now we return the Torah to the Ark on page 374.
It's Chaim hi, lama chazikim ba, betor mechera meushar, derachera darchenu, mechon netivoteha shalom, ashivinu Adonai, elecha v'nashuva, adei shamenu kekedem, adei shamenu kekedem.
So, gather around the table for a tale from Parshat Vayigash. Joseph's story in the Torah is going to hit a major turning point. He is basically Pharaoh's right-hand man, and out of the blue, his long-lost brothers show up, and they're desperate for food during a huge famine. This unexpected reunion starts a wild journey of making amends for past mistakes. In the last Parsha, Miketz, Joseph played a trick on his brothers, hiding his identity and framing them for stealing. Things get tense when he says to one of them, Simon, "Give me your youngest brother Benjamin if you want Simon back." And Vayigash is where I would say it gets real. Judah, one of the brothers, steps up, and he pleads with Joseph to let Benjamin go, reminding him how devastated their father Jacob would be to lose another son. They didn't know they were talking to the other son while they were pleading for their brother. Joseph's heart softens, and he finally says who he is, and it just totally changes everything. And instead of holding a grudge, he forgives them. And I found a modern translation I will share with you, and then I'll give you a traditional translation. So, if this were kids my son's age, they would say, "Chill, guys. I'm Joseph, the brother you sold into Egypt, but don't sweat it because God sent me here to save lives." Okay? Or for people my age, it actually says, "I'm Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. Don't be troubled. Don't be chagrined because you sold me here. For it was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you." So however we translate it, this pivotal moment reflects Joseph's remarkable capacity to perceive a larger design woven into his own suffering and adversity. Joseph's story teaches us something very powerful. Even in very difficult times, we must draw from a well of faith that there may be a bigger plan at play. He doesn't, at this point in his life, let being sold in slavery become the focus of his life. He sees purpose in his suffering, which ended up saving his family and Israel, the Israelites, all of them, and the Egyptian people from starvation. It's in times like this in history where we have to remember that good comes often out of bad. For instance, did you know that Alexander Fleming accidentally discovered penicillin in 1928? It's a complete accident. And Jonas Salk's polio vaccine and the COVID-19 vaccine we have now, this all came out of extreme crisis. And actually, the internet started growing out of the Cold War. And now the internet, we say it's a good thing, connects the whole world. Think about the civil rights movement. People rose up against unfair treatment, and it led to laws promoting equality. And out of this great social catastrophe also came equal rights for women. Even during the suffering of the Great Depression, leaders like Roosevelt made changes to help people out. We invented Social Security. And just like Joseph and other Jewish leaders, we Jews have to be leaders in turning challenging situations to somehow benefit the world. We have to have faith in spite of all that is happening here and abroad, and promise to keep the tradition going that we Jews were put on this earth to make the world a better place. We are commanded to perform tikkun olam, repair of the world. It doesn't, the expression is not that we're commanded to perfect the world, but we're commanded to repair the world, which is an ongoing process. That is our job as Jews. We need to be the leaders who bring positive change. We need to continue to create new things. And we need to keep moving forward, just like Joseph did, out of adversity in our story. Shabbat Shalom. I'd like to invite up Wayne Haller to share some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
On behalf of Monmouth Reformed Temple, I want to welcome you tonight. Thank you for joining us in our sanctuary and via live stream. We have a few announcements for this evening. We stand with Israel in this perilous time. Our tzedakah box donations will support Magen David Adom. Magen David Adom is Israel's national emergency medical, disaster, ambulance, and blood bank service. This charity gets the money to those directly in need within hours. Please note that our MRT office will be closed from December 25th through January 1st. For more information on the following events, you can find that in the e-blast. We want to learn more about Judaism. We're looking to convert, begin January 4th. Join Rabbi Edelman on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. on Zoom for her Judaism 101 class. MRT is looking for adults to be part of our Purim Spiel featuring the music of Elton John. Please let Cantor know if you're interested. We did lose a few members this year that were normally in the Purim Spiel because they're going to be traveling, so we need some new fresh faces, and who knows, maybe you get the Academy Award next time.
I'll give anybody an award.
Save the date for our MLK Justice Shabbat service on January the 12th. Our March 10th MRT will host a congregational trip to the Weitzman National Museum of American Jewish History in Philadelphia. RSVP to Leah Hecht by February 1st. And I'm going to take a little extra that's not in here to plug up a very special program that doesn't get a lot of attention, but is really something worthwhile doing. I started doing it probably about a month ago, and that's Elliot Fenelon's meditation sessions. They are 8 o'clock on Friday morning via Zoom, and Monday night at 9 o'clock. There won't be one this Monday or next Monday because of the holidays. But I find that the meditation, it's only 18 minutes, but it feels like it's only 2. It just goes by so quick. And we have a reading before, and then we discuss it afterwards. And it just calms me down for the rest of the day and centers me, and it's a really good program.
That's amazing, Wayne.
It really does. And then MRT continues to engage together in meaningful ways. We would love for more people to invest in our mission of connecting as a Jewish community. We welcome your investment of time as well as donations to help us grow. For information on joining our MRT family or making a donation, please contact Jordana in our office or visit our website, www.monmouthreformedtemple.org. Rabbi Edelman and Cantor Clissold are always available as well. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Wayne. I'm so glad you mentioned that. If you want to find out about it, the information is always in the weekly e-blast, and also on Friday, the temple sends out another notification, and I think Elliot's information is often in that as well.
I don't know if it is on the Friday.
Maybe,
It's
all right,
in the e-blast.
in the e-blast. All right. So if you want to go, you should check your e-blast out. Don't just delete it, look it over. So we're going to be on page 586. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, מטה גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שכונות השמיים ביוצר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We are on page 597. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to all of humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We are in the period of Shiva for Martin Gale, and in Shloshim for Mark Best, Rabbi David Ellenson, Cantor Judith Ovadia, and Francis Steiner. And we were remembering this week the annual yahrzeit of Emmanuel Baruch, Raymond Becker, Harry Field, George Glasser, Molly Gurovitz, Irving Hoffman, Sylvia Katz, Colette Katz, Richard Klein, Edward Klein, Anne Klatsky Kobrin, David Lewis, Judith Lissy, Nettie Morse, Clara Newman, Betty Halpern Schmetzel, Jeffrey Stark, Beth Tansman, Herbert Tansman, Ann Weissman. And are there any other names you would like to say this week to remember? We're also remembering everyone who has died in the war in the Middle East. We continue on page 598 as we rise for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach hirutei, v'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah, barach leolam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha brichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiram be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Osei shalom v'ramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen.
O Ose shalom mimramav, v'ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'meru. Amen. May the one who brings harmony on high bring peace to us all and to all of Israel, and we say Amen. Please be seated. The Adon Olam that we're going to sing tonight, the choir sung it many times. Evan, what is it based on?
The tune is called Oh Waily Waily. The text is often The Water is Wide.
I could never get that straight, but it's based on an American folk song. And to me, it reminds me of a John Wayne movie. But, I'm not, but I love this version of Adon Olam, and it gives me a great sense of comfort as we end our Shabbat service. And when we're done, though, and we'll do the motzi, please come inside for some cookies to say hello and to wish each other personally a Shabbat Shalom. Adon Olam Hashem Malach B'terem kol Yetzir Nivra Li'idnasa V'chefso kol Hazai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei kichlot hakol Levado Yimroch nora Ve'hu hayah Ve'hu hoveh Ve'hu yiyeh Ve'tivara Ve'hu echad Ve'en sheni Lehamshilo Lehachbira Beni Reshit Beni Taklit Velo Ha'os Ve'hamizra. I hear the horses. Ve'hu Eli Ve'chai Goli Ve'tzur Chevli Ve'hitzarav Ve'hu Nisi U'manos li Ve'nat kusi Ve'yom ekra Ve'yado hakitruchi Ve'hitishan Ve'hayira Ve'yivruchi Gevihati Adonai li Ve'lo hira. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Evan. So now we're going to do what we're all very good at, which is to eat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. I shall see you inside. Wayne will offer you a piece. Thank you.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.